So yeah, this is the Google Pixel 2. It is the white version, pure white version, I should say. And this is a really, really good phone. This is my main phone now, and I'm using it. I've been using the original Pixel, the Pixel 1, as my main phone for most of this year. And now I switched over to the Pixel 2, which makes sense. I'm using Project Fi, which is really, really nice because you can use this phone anywhere, the Pixel 1 and the Pixel 2, basically anywhere around the world, and not have to worry about paying roaming charges and stuff like that, or buying a new SIM card. You don't have to worry about any of those things when you have Project Fi. A little bit about the aesthetics here. Some things are different than the original Pixel, which I actually miss about the original Pixel. So first of all, no headphone jack up here. That's kind of a shame. I don't know why Google decided to go with no headphone jack. I mean, I know this phone is IPX7 water resistant now, but you don't really need to take off the headphone jack for that. I mean, the Samsung, the Xperia, you know, those phones all have the headphone jack and they're all IP68 and stuff. So I don't think it's necessary. But anyways, Google got rid of the headphone jack to make money for their Pixel Buds or something, I guess. But that's one thing I miss about the original Pixel. And then you have a much bigger camera sensor here, or camera lens. This one is actually much bigger than the original Pixel right here. Instead of glass, so this whole upper part here was glass on the original Pixel. They now just have a smooth feeling, not glass, but just kind of, yeah, I wouldn't say this is really glass, but just like a smooth feeling kind of plastic surface here. And the same goes for the body. It's kind of very cheap plastic feeling, which I don't like. The original Pixel had this bottom part all aluminum, which felt a lot more upper end or high end. But now it's all plastic feeling, which I don't think feels as good. So I wish the back, they would have kept the original Pixel back. The Pixel 2 does not have a nice back like the Pixel 1 does. And USB-C, that's normal, same as the original Pixel. One of the things is the buttons here. There's a power button, volume button. These are the same, but they require slightly more pressure to press than the original Pixel. So the original Pixel, you can just press this, you know, just with normal pressure. This one, you have to put a little bit more pressure on your fingers to press it. There's this squeeze action here. You can squeeze it to activate Google Assistant. I don't use it that much, so I didn't enable it. But there's that as well. Same OLED display here. And that hasn't changed. People think these are really fat bezels. To me, they're not really that fat, but I guess compared to the Pixel 2 XL and the iPhone 10, I guess these are fat pixels, fat bezels, I mean. And yeah, the back for the Pixel 1 is a lot better. And I have no idea why the front is not white. I had the pure white version. Why is only the back white? So I had a Pixel 1 white version as well. And the front of it was white as well, so this was all white and stuff. I don't know why they kept the front of the Pixel 2 white version black. I mean, that's a little bit weird, right? I didn't order the black version, I ordered the white version. And the Pixel 1 had the front white, so why doesn't this one have the white one on the front? I mean, if I put a case on it, which I usually do, right? I put my case on it, now it just looks like the black version, right? The only way you know it's a white version is just if you look on the back of it. And you can see the parts poking out. But on the original Pixel, the front was white, so people would know I have a white phone. But now it's all black, so yeah. And when you have a case on it, it doesn't even seem like I have a white phone anymore. So yeah, that's kind of disappointing as well. Thing I like about this, always on display. Look at that. So I don't even have to do anything. This part of the display, the clock, the date, and the notifications that appear down here are always displayed. And that's no matter what. So you no longer have to go over and then turn on the power button to see what's up. Now you can just glance at it. It's always on display. So that's nice about the Pixel 2. And of course, one of the things that may not be obvious, so this is not too much different. This is Android 8 Oreo, which I also had on my Pixel 1. But the interface for Pixel 2 comes standard like this. This is the default interface. It's there's no UI obviously on it. It's very, very stock, but I like the background. If you look at the background, look at it, it's moving, right? So I like these default live wallpapers that they install in the background. It's really, really cool. So this one is like the surface of a cliff, I guess, and then you can, when you switch over, you can actually switch to perspective as well. See how the background shifted? So the perspective shifted a little bit, right? That's really cool. And you can change these at any time. So let me go and show a few other ones. So these are all live wallpapers. So let's go to, yep, you can do Walk in the Clouds, Hawaii. This one is pretty cool. It's Hawaii. And oh yeah, this is the coastline of Lagos. I wouldn't have known that was Lagos. Okay, this is above the Monument Valley, live wallpaper right here. This looks like kind of like Mars at first glance. Mount Vesuvius, of course, in Italy. And you have a few other ones. This one is actually really cool. This shows exactly your location in the world, this wallpaper. So right now I'm in San Francisco. It centers exactly on my location in California right now. So if I went to Korea, it would center on Korea. It would, like, the wallpaper would shift depending on my location. And that's really awesome as well. So this is a cool feature to have, right? And world comes to you, of course. Your vantage point changes throughout the day. So like this one is changing all the time. And yeah, it's just a lot of cool wallpapers here. So yeah, anyways, this is the Pixel 2. I'm sure other reviews have gone more in depth on this phone, but I've just highlighted some of the ones I felt were kind of neat. And of course the camera on it is freaking amazing. The original Pixel 1 had a really good camera for a very long time, actually, and even the original Pixel camera still has one of the best cameras today. But then the Pixel 2 comes and it basically leapfrogs all the other cameras out there, except for perhaps the iPhone 10, and obviously that's about it. Like, the Pixel 2 camera is pretty much the best Android camera you can get right now, better than the S8, better than the Essential phone, and yeah, this is the what did Facebook call them? Live photos or whatever. That's their Android's version of that. Timer, you can put on the grid. This is just a filter right here. That's flash. You can do panorama, photosphere, portrait. Portrait mode is kind of similar to the portrait mode on the iPhone as well. You can press this and it'll blur it out for you. So actually, let me get my, where's my subject here? It's my trusty Bose right here. You're going to be my subject for this picture. So all right, so this is a portrait mode right here. So focus on it right here. Okay, take that picture and see, this is the portrait mode on here. So it does a simulation of the bokeh that you would get on my Sony a6000, for example. It's not perfect, but I think it's definitely comparable to the iPhone portrait mode. Definitely comparable. So pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Front-facing camera here, you don't have the wide-angle view like you get on my Xperia. My Xperia has a wide-angle selfie portrait mode, which this one does not have. So that's a little bit disappointing. This is just a regular selfie. Yeah, this selfie camera is just a regular selfie. My Xperia actually has a wide-angle selfie mode. This doesn't. But yeah, the camera is really, really good. And the back camera is definitely probably one of the best cameras out there today. Yeah, I'd say like this camera and the iPhone 10 camera or the iPhone 8 camera are probably the best cameras that you can get on a smartphone these days. Interesting, it does 4:3, right? Okay. Yeah, it does 4:3. Sometimes do 16:9 might be better in some scenarios, but 4:3 is pretty good. That's for usually vertical resolution. But yeah, that's the Pixel 2, guys. It's going to be my main phone from now on. It's pretty awesome. Look at that, always on display. I can just leave it like that. Okay. Another thing I had to talk about the Pixel 2, which I have to talk about, is the battery life. Now, the Pixel 1 battery life wasn't very good, and I commented on that before. The Pixel 2 is far superior. The battery life is almost as good as my Xperia XZ1 Compact and my BlackBerry Key 1, which are so far the best battery performance I have right now. The Pixel 2 battery life is amazing. I'll show you guys. The battery life I have right now is at 46%. Now, 46% is from the time I picked it up this morning. The time I last charged it was about 8 a.m. this morning. So it's been, and now it's 10, it's almost 11 p.m. So basically, almost the entire day I've been using this, normally texting people, taking pictures. you know, checking things on Facebook and stuff, just using it normally. And yeah, it's only been down like a little bit more than 50%, and it's been almost an entire day. So that's quite impressive, actually. So yeah, see, last full charge 14 hours, almost 15 hours ago. So it's not even on battery saver. So mind you, I put my Pixel 1 on battery saver and it barely lasts throughout the day. This one, I don't need to put on battery saver at all. And yeah, it's only used up a little bit more than 50%. And it's been almost an entire day so far. So I've been very, very impressed. So I think this thing can easily last over a day, probably a day and a half to 2 days. And that's very, very impressive considering the power of this phone. I mean, this phone is a lot more powerful than the Xperia and the BlackBerry Key 1, so it's actually really, really impressive that Google managed to put such good battery life inside this phone, as powerful as it is. And it's always on display as well. I mean, that takes up a lot of battery life. Well, not a lot, but it takes up battery life just to put this always on display, right? So I don't know how the heck they managed to keep the battery life so good, even with this on all the time. But yeah, that's really, really cool.